So C10's in the City is happening on May the 3rd, which means we have to leave Canada here on the East Coast on April 30th. Junior and I are taking off to the C10's in the City event. We need to make sure that Dale Jr. is ready for that. We're not done with all this body work yet. We've got a list here that we need to kind of go through and start marking a bunch of things off in hopes that we can have it ready to roll in just 30 days. So let's show you what that list is, take a look at everything that we've got left to do, and get to work. So I will apologize for the background noise. Junior's over there detailing my brother-in-law's Monaco. Top of this list, we've got polish the park lights. Well, and further down here, we've got side marker lights. In my last video, which I'm going to link right up here if you guys didn't see that, we installed new headlight housings as well as some Oxido LED headlights. And some of you guys in the comments were talking about how bad the park lights look. Well, yeah, they're hazed, so we're going to polish these up and make sure that they look as good as the headlights. And moving over here to the side, these park lights are quite faded. I've got some new ones coming that's going to set this thing off and tie in to the cleaner look of the headlights and park lights. On the list, we also have radio, rear and front speakers. Now this old Suburban just has the basic standard radio that came in this thing when it was new. The problem is, well, it doesn't work very well. It's staticky, hardly picks up FM radio. It does play a tape, but it's awful scratchy, well, like cassettes were. But none of the speakers are sounding very good. So I've got some new dash speakers for up here, as well as some proper fit speakers for the back. I'm going to get rid of those 6x9s. Next on the list is a tune-up. We're going to do the standard stuff, which is plugs and wires. We're also going to tear apart the throttle body and put new injectors into it. This thing is running on original injectors from 35 years ago, so we're going to tear that thing apart and try and make it run a little bit more efficient. Because on a 3,200 mile road trip, we need to be able to save as much gas as possible. So the tailpipe is loose because we had to remove that to do some body repair. I think I'm going to change the muffler on. This is not mandatory for this trip, but I think I want to change that. I'm not keen on the way it sounds here right now. And, you know, even though eventually we will be LS swapping this, I'm still going to drive this thing for the summer. I just need it to sound better than it does. Wheels and tires and wrap. I've alluded to several times that we're going to be doing something with this gold down here in the middle. I'm not 100% sold on what I want to do yet, whether I want to go wood grain, whether I want to go with a desert fox, whether I want to go with just a completely different color in there that will complement the cream or the beige on the top. We're going to be doing something. Again, not necessarily a priority before the trip, but it would be nice. Same thing with wheels and tires. These wheels and tires are sufficient. They will work, but I may do something different here. So I've got my eye on a couple of different styles, and I'll flash them up on the screen here to see if you guys like any one of those in particular. It's ultimately going to be my decision, but let me know what you think. Do you like these Steelies that are a replica? Do you like the polished aluminum ones that look a lot like the originals? Or do you like these US mags, which is what, I'm kind of favoring those. Let me know down in the comment section down below which ones you guys like. I'd like to go with 18s to make it a bigger wheel and tire package. Although I want to see 20s on it, I'm not willing to sacrifice the ride of 20s. And again, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but when you go with a 20-inch wheel, yes, it looks good. I don't want to sacrifice that ride on, baloney skin type tires, or rubber bands as some guys call them. So I think I want to go 18s like we did with Dale the Truck. I do have an update on Dale the Truck too, by the way, seeing as how we're talking about it. As of right now, I've received a deposit for the sale of Dale the Truck, and the buyer is coming from Maryland on Tuesday, which will be in a couple of days after this video goes up, to pick Dale up and take him home. So I'll be sure to get some footage of that, but just know that it's unofficially sold, because it's not officially sold till I've got cash in my hand. So at this point, Dale the Truck will be leaving the channel, although I do plan on stopping by when we go down to C10's in the City, probably on the way home, and stop by and visit with the buyer and see Dale one more time. So anyways, Dale, the truck is sold. A couple of these things here, again, they're not necessarily mandatory, but we've got left rear door lock actuator and remote door locks. I have a remote door lock kit that I want to install on this so that I can lock and unlock it from a distance. But this door lock actuator is not working. I can do it manually and it will lock the door, but when I unlock it with the switch, this is the only one that doesn't unlock. So we're going to try and get that fixed, replace the door lock actuator, and install a remote door lock. On that list as well is dent on the driver's door. You probably can't see it, but from right about here down into the below the molding, it's like it's a very subtle dent. And we're going to try and get that out, because if we wrap this thing, that dent will stand out big time. Right now it's kind of hidden, so I'm hoping that if I do a good enough job and get that kind of poked out a little bit, it'll be fine. We do have a dent here. This one's right on the body line, so I'm not sure we're going to be able to do much with that, or at least not with my talent. So we'll just touch the paint up there and hopefully call that one good. Polishing and painting the truck. We've got to do the body work down here. When the time comes to paint the truck, all these repair spots that we did, we're going to be painting from that molding down all the way around the truck so that the paint matches. So that's going to include the rocker panel here on the driver's side, the lower fender patch panel that we put in over here, as well as both sides of the rear quarter, painting the biggest piece that we actually put in, which was this rear cross member, and then the rocker panel on the passenger side front door. And tying in with all of that is what we're going to be doing today, is getting that spare tire well put back in for the final time. We've got all the dents taken out of it. We've rubberized, undercoated it. We'll get it in there. Once it's in place, we will spray paint it. We'll probably just keep it black because no one's really going to see it. Get that put in and seam seal the whole thing all the way around. That was a chore, getting all that 35-year-old seam sealer out. It was rock hard, so a little bit of heat and a chisel, get all that out around there. The same thing on the inside and outside of the spare tire well. Last weekend, which I did not film, I just wanted to kind of go to work, I got this piece that we cut out, this rear tail piece. We got it welded back in. We got the patch put in over here on this corner, and no, I did not find an old piece of floor and match that one little rib. I wasn't too concerned about it. Nobody's going to see it. Yes, I know it's there. You know it's there. But when that carpet comes down over top of it and that piece of trim goes on, what's there to see? We got the body mounts put in on this back panel as well, and all the bolts except for the one that it shares over here with the spare tire well is in. And at some point we will be adjusting this driver's door. It's misaligned, which makes it hard to shut, not to mention that I've put a new weather strip around it, so that exacerbates that issue even more. But if you look at this gap right here, how big of a gap it is, and then over here where there's almost virtually no gap, this door kind of needs to go over that way. We're going to get that fixed. Everything else is just regular maintenance. We will be checking the AC level because we did put some sealer in it last year. We want to make sure the AC works. We'll be doing a fresh oil change, checking all the fluids, checking the wheel bearings. Everything seems to be fine. This left front wheel bearing had just slight amount of play, nothing to worry about, but if we're going on a trip, we might as well, try and tighten that up so that it's not going to give us any issues. The radiator. When we bought this thing, the seller, the guy that I bought it from, told me that the radiator leaked. And as far as I can tell, all the leaking was happening around the radiator cap. And ever since I put a new rad cap on it, it's not leaked. So yes, there is some staining there from previous leaks, but I think the bulk of our problem was the rad cap. We will know for sure once we get driving this thing on a regular basis before we make our trip, because I will put a few miles on it before that, just to kind of make sure there's no other bugs that we need to do, that we need to look after before we leave. And last but not least is a good detailing. If you don't follow me on Instagram and you don't know that there used to be flames over here, just like there still is over here, we tried a couple of methods to try and make that go away. I like pinstriping. I didn't like that pinstriping, not on this vehicle. So ultimately we ended up buffing it off with a cutting compound and polishing it back, and it came out really, really good. You can see how that shines. We've got to make the rest of the vehicle shine just like it. Well, at least the best we can. You can tell that the roof has got some grime on it all the way up, a little bit of rust up there. So we're going to have to get the SOS or Comet and clean that off up there. Make this thing shine and look a little bit more attractive in its state that it's in right now. Because like I said, if we do end up doing a wrap in here, that's going to look clean. The rest of it's going to look like crap unless we detail it. Junior said he was going to help me with that. So that'll be a project that we do probably in the last minutes type of thing before we leave on this trip. So I know this video was a lot of talking, telling you what's going on, but we are going to be getting this wheel well tub put in today in this video. So we're going to get started on that right now. Let me get some lights set up and get this thing installed. All right, so we got this thing looking pretty good on the outside. If you guys recall, this was all dented in here, all up in here, but we've pounded all that out and we've done our best to kind of mask all the dents. Again, no one's going to see this, but on the inside you can see where we did all the beating and banging, and again, we will clean that up. But because the underside is going to be exposed to the weather, we did put some of that rubberized undercoating on it, and we will finish that up with a coat of paint, seal that in there, maybe 2 or 3 coats of paint. If you recall, getting this thing out was a chore because it was all beat up and banged down here. It was all sticking out. I'll insert a clip of me struggling to get this thing out. So hopefully it goes in a little easier than it came out. But I think where we're going to run into some problem is this corner here and this corner here. I'm not sure if I got to start here and let it lay down, which means I got to get this out of the way. But I'm thinking that's exactly what we're going to end up having to do. And hopefully it will just kind of fall into place. So let's see what's going to happen here. I couldn't figure out how to get the seatbelt cover off to get that out of the way and just pull that whole panel out. But let's try going in this way first and then come back. If that doesn't work, then we'll have to figure out a way to get that out. There we go. All right, so all of our holes here are now lining up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bolts into all the ones. I'm not going to tighten them, but we're going to have to use a little bit of persuasion to get that metal bent back down, because we got this thing all bent to pieces from when we previously had it installed, so, or when we took it out. All right, we didn't struggle too bad getting these all these bolts in here. I guess we're still missing one here, aren't we? Go grab one more. We'll get it down in there. And then everything will just draw itself together, and where there's great big gaps, we'll persuade it back into place. So let me go grab one more bolt. We'll cinch all these together. All right, so now that all of this is in place, we can go in and seam seal all around the edges to help keep the dust and, well, the water out. I do have that plug somewhere, probably in there somewhere. But anyways, I'm gonna go grab the seam sealer. We've got all this hammered back into place so it's nice and flush with the side of the truck. Let's get the seam sealing. All right, so we've got all that seam sealing done, all the way up in through here, all around in these back corners here, all along that seam, all along this seam here, the seam that we welded, and of course all of this repair down in here and down along those seams. So we've got to wait till that sets up. Once that's done, then we can come in here, clean it up with a little spray of some paint. I'm going to get some color match stuff here Clean all that up, and then the interior can start going back together. I've got to get a weather strip molding that goes all the way around the tailgate, because the old one I had to chisel it off to get it out. And it's a big piece. It's this whole thing where the window goes up in and everything, apparently. So we'll get that coming. And then we're ready to start putting things together to start painting. In the next video, we're going to be finishing off all of this stuff here and getting it so that it's ready to start painting. And then, as far as I'm concerned, the hard part is done. So we're going to leave this alone here for now. We'll come back tomorrow. I'll finish up getting this cleaned and spray paint, all that stuff, get it ready to put the carpet back together, put the interior back together, and that'll do it for the most part for what we've got to do in there. I appreciate you sticking around through this video. There's going to be more to come with where this truck just starts to look better from here on out with the paint, hopefully wheels and tires by then, and kind of get this thing road ready. If you have not yet, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to Olde Carr Guy. We got lots more of Dale Jr. coming at you. Also, you can get your Olde Carr Guy merchandise at shop.oldecarguy.com. That's one other way that you can help support the efforts that I do over here, so that I can bring you guys some good content. Stay focused on the windshield, not the rear view mirror. I love you guys. God bless. Let's do it in the next video.